All right, let's do this. So, hey, just hey, it's Sunday, and at this point, all of my plants are watered. I did probably 90% of them yesterday, Saturday morning, and then the few bigger ones and some of the outside ones I did this morning. But for the most part, everybody is watered. They could probably all use another like leaf cleaning because it's just so dusty. That's just how it is here in Arizona. Got to keep the leaves clean because that's how you eliminate and identify pests and problems and things like that. So even though I probably did this, 3 weekends ago already, it's time for them to get another spray down with that insecticidal soap and just give them a nice wipe down. As you can see, that's a lot of leaves. I have a lot of plants in a small space, and this isn't all of them. There are some that I just can't move or don't want to move, but for the most part, I tried to gather everybody here so that I could just kind of do like a quick plant tour introduction. I want you to meet every single one of my babies. Most of them have names, a lot of them don't, and so I am going to call them by name and have my app, my plant app, as a cheat sheet just in case I forget either the name that I named them or the actual name of the plant, so just bear with me. But I guess let's just get started with this one here, since it's kind of like all up in my business, in my face. This plant, I gotta be careful because I kind of stacked them all together. This plant I've had for a little while. It does not have a name or a nickname. It is a type of Dracaena, right? Yeah, it's a type of Dracaena. I really, really like it because I've never really seen a Dracaena like this. I like the color and the stripes, and it's just a really strong plant. This plant was touch and go for a while. I lost along the way a lot of leaves, as you can see. All of that was leaves at one point, but the growth since then has been amazing. It does need a repotting and like additional support because it's just not supported. I've got a leaf here that's on its way out, and that's okay. Thank you for your service. Sometimes, depending on how I'm feeling, I'll like trim the brown off, but that's just for aesthetics. It doesn't really do anything in my opinion. But yeah, there's a lot of new growth happening, and I'm excited about it. But yeah, this is a Dracaena. It has no name. It needs a name, so that's one that I'm going to put over to the side, and we'll determine a name for it at a later point. Okay, so that's the no-name Dracaena. Next, I have, let's just do this one because it's the next biggest, and it is one of my favorites. This is Hope. And Hope is a philodendron. Start there. I love philodendrons. I love anthuriums. Hope is a philodendron, and she is a lickety-split. That is the other nickname. But let me give you the scientific name because that's best. I should have had this up already, so sorry. Come on. Hope is a lickety-split, aka philodendron Hope. That's why I named her Hope. No, what is the scientific name, please? A lot of these plants have multiple nicknames or retail names. Should have had this together. So sorry. Anyways, she's one of my favorites just because she's so big. The leaves are so big. It's a really easy plant to care for. And she did have a, oh my God. gosh, there are things moving and it freaks me out because I'm terrified of bugs. Her aerial root is swinging and it scared the shit out of me. This is her first aerial root. It's going nuts, and it's been damaged a couple times because I keep stepping on it because she also needs a pole to climb. But this plant behaves in a similar way as the like monsteras. It likes to climb and brace itself with aerial roots, and this is the first one that she's put out. What I'm saying is tree philodendron, scientific name. Okay, here we go. This is not how you say it, okay? It's a Thamatophyllum bipinnatifidum. Thamatophyllum bipinnatifidum, okay? Type in philodendron hope or the tree philodendron or the lickety split, and all three of those names will bring you this. But yeah, this is one of those giant jungle plants that you'll find in the rainforest, and I love her. She's been through quite a bit because she had a pest problem. I think it was thrips, those like little itty bitty black, almost like teeny microscopic things were eating her leaves alive, and I lost a lot and had to cut a lot. She was one that I dipped a few weeks ago and I treated with the insecticidal soap. She's really dusty right now, so that makes me a little nervous. I need to go ahead and wipe her leaves again just to make sure that we keep the pests at bay. But she's got a lot of new growth coming, and I'm excited about it because I want her to get bigger and thicker and stronger. But yeah, this is Hope. Okay, I'm gonna move Hope out of the way. Her aerial root is bananas. It's crazy. All right, who do we have next? Let's do a small one, which is one of my favorites. This one does not have a name. I need to name it. It is a heart leaf philodendron. It looks similar, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's part of the pothos family, kinda, sorta. As you can see, the leaves are, I'm not even going to say similar, but I mean, the leaves kind of have somewhat of a familiar shape to each other. But this is a heartleaf philodendron, and let me see if it has a scientific name. It definitely, I have not given her a nickname, but she needs one because she's really, really happy, growing like crazy. I just rewrapped her around this like metal art decor plant thingy this morning. Heartleaf philodendron. The scientific name is Philodendron heteroecium, and they are just gorgeous. Of course, it's a vine, so it'll climb up or down or sideways or however it wants to grow. And this one has been growing down and around, so I just wrapped, it's like 3 long vines, and I just wrapped it around this one. But it has no name. It needs a name. Okay, so I'm going to put this in the need a name pile. Next, we have a, let's go with my arrowhead plants. I have 3 different varieties of arrowhead plants. This is a syngonium. Don't ask me which variety of syngonium because they're all very, very similar, and I don't want to necessarily get it wrong. But if I had to guess, by the way, this is Holly. She is one of the newer plants to the family. She was a gift, and she's just really full of life and color. She's got some lighter leaves, some medium colored, and then some dark and light speckled leaves. I love it. It's pretty. Holly is a syngonium, aka arrowhead vine, and her variety specifically is, if I would guess, because I don't know for sure, I named her Holly because I tried to match up as best as possible, and she looks like a Syngonium Holly Bianco. And that's AKA Syngonium podophyllum red spot. So yeah, this is Holly. And just to give you an idea of how similar these all look, here is my other Syngonium. This one I've had the longest. This is Cindy the Syngonium, and she also needs some TLC. She got dipped. Well, they all did, almost all of them. She got dipped. I wanted to make sure that she got rid of her spider mites and any gnats that could be happening, and she lost quite a bit of soil in the dipping process, so I need to refill her soil and try to give her some sort of additional brace. I see some roots coming out of the vines, and I don't know, like I just want her to be able to brace herself. Anytime that she gets dry, she drops like 3 or 4 leaves, so she's kind of leggy right now because I've had to trim her like 3 times now, but she's still really healthy, going strong. She's got a few points of new growth. I'm seeing her first aerial root. Wow. But yeah, Holly's one of my favorites. Or not Holly, sorry, Cindy. She's an OG. I love the arrowhead plants. She's just more of a lime greenish, medium lime green color. So far, look at the difference between Cindy and Holly. You can barely tell, right? And then my third Syngonium is, I believe this is Sandy the Syngonium, and I just cut a bunch off of her because I didn't realize that she was dry. I have her partnered with Marty, and I'll show you Marty in a minute. And Marty is kind of going crazy and taking over the space, so I could not see Sandy and her needs. So I'm gonna have to move her to another location of her own so I can keep an eye on her. But this is more of like a neon arrowhead plant. Her leaves are really, really, really light colored. So I just have to watch out for her. So yeah, these are my 3 arrowhead plants. All very pretty, all very different, but all very similar. So these are all named. So I'm going to move them over to the name pile because they don't need a name. Okay, then I have, let's do Birdie because she's one of my favorites, and this is where she lives, right here. This is my Birkin. She is also a philodendron, and Birdie is my second Birkin. The first one I had died a miserable death because I just had no idea. It was a learning curve, right? When you get a new plant that you've never had before, you have to figure out its needs, learn it, figure out the optimum place for it. And that one just died so terribly, I felt bad. But they're so pretty to me that after a while I had to get another one. And so here's Birdie, and she is doing so incredibly well. In her spot right here, she's happy. She puts out like a couple leaves every 2 or 3 weeks. And her color range is just gorgeous, right? I mean, you've got pink, you've got light green, dark green, medium, white. The white leaves are baby leaves, so they're new. And then they gradually darken to the middle phase, or these middle colors, and then they eventually darken to this dark green. And I think it's just so pretty. And that each new leaf comes out of this like pink, I don't know what you call this part of the plant where the leaf comes out of, but the fact that it's pink is just so pretty. It's almost like a bouquet, a really pretty bouquet of flowers. And Birdie also has several aerial roots, but they're really thin and vine-like. almost to the point of like, ooh, I want to cut those off. But I mean, they're just, if they bother you, you can, but they're just aerial roots. It doesn't mean anything other than the plant is just trying to brace itself. This is also one that would climb up a big rainforest tree. And so, yeah, it's just trying to brace itself because this side is so heavy with leaves. But I also keep a close eye on her to make sure that, you know, nothing weird is happening, that she doesn't need anything. But yeah, this is Birdie. She stays right here. She stays here next to Falcon. And I'll kind of pull Falcon up. Falcon is my ficus. Oh, I've got to figure this out. Okay. Falcon is my dwarf ficus lyrata, aka the fiddle leaf fig. And it feels like Falcon is dry again. I don't know what's going on, other than he just put out this new leaf. This is a brand new leaf. There might be another one coming, maybe. I don't think so. But I'm concerned because all these 4 droopy leaves here, I don't want him to drop those. Like, I want him to figure it out. What is happening? Okay. I want him to figure it out and make these 3 leaves survive and not drop them, because it takes a while for him to like want to wake up and put out a new leaf. Anyways, this, I'm so proud of him because he almost didn't make it. I think I had 2 or 3 leaves left on this when it was this tall. When I had my other apartment in Phoenix and I had absolutely no light, he was hanging on in that dark dungeon with me, and I didn't think he was going to make it, but I moved. He held on, he made it. He not only grew a thicker branch or trunk, I don't know what you call this, stem. It's going to be a trunk one day because he's going to be a big tree and I'm going to do great things with him. But thicker trunk, all these new leaves, the height is amazing, and he's just so happy, and I'm happy, and I want to keep him taken care of. But like the water, I don't understand. I feel like I'm watering him every day, but it's definitely dry. So what I'm gonna do right now is, yeah, I'm gonna put him in the sink right now. I'll be right back. Okay, while Falcon is taking a bath or getting a drink, let's move on. Okay, let's talk to Paloma, because she's so dramatic that if I don't recognize her, she just falls all over the place. This is Paloma. She needs a support system of some kind. I have made several support systems for her and it just hasn't worked, but now I really need one. She is a peperomia obtusifolia. She also was on her very last leg with maybe like a small vine and a few leaves. She also made it back. She came back with a vengeance, and there's new growth all over it. But I'm holding her up because if I don't, she will fall over. I usually have her in the kitchen window leaning up against the sill. But this is Paloma, and she's so dramatic but pretty, and I love her. And she needs her leaves cleaned because something is happening. Something is getting her, eating her, and I don't know what. So, see, this is why it's good to inspect your leaves every so often, because you don't know until you know. Paloma. All right. Next, let's talk to her roommate. I also have this one in the kitchen window. This is Tracy. And Tracy is a Tradescantia. Leaves and dirt everywhere, I promise. That's the one thing that you'll find when you come over, undoubtedly. It doesn't matter how much I clean, you will find a leaf or several, you will find dirt. Anyways, this is Tracy the Tradescantia. She is very temperamental. She's also going through something, or has been going through something. for a little while, so I'm trying to just be really gentle with her. She's really temperamental, doesn't like to be dry, doesn't like to be too wet, doesn't like to have too much sun, doesn't like to have not enough sun. There was a point early on this spring where she was extremely happy and she just put out all of these pretty white flowers. That's what these little brown cotton ball things are. These were white flowers. And so now it just looks like they died and it's turning into pollen and it's gonna kill me in my sleep. So I'm gonna have to do something about that. Plus some of her leaves that have died need to come off. So I will probably do that more closely a little bit later. But this is Tracy the Tradescantia in a terracotta pot that is like pretty much molded and patinaed and all that stuff. Deal with that later. Thank you, Tracy, for your time. Moving on. Next I have Zara. I'm giving you all my problem children right now. This is Zara. This is a black ZZ, aka the scientific name is Zamioculus zamifolia. Zamioculus zamifolia, aka the ZZ. You can type that in anywhere and it will pull up exactly this plant. This is the black version, which just meaning that there's like a really bright green leaf and then there's like a leaf that's so dark green that it's damn near black. And that's this version that I've had. I've had both. This is kind of hard to find sometimes, depending on where you are in the season. But I finally got one and it has not been in the best shape. I keep this one in my bathroom. There are no windows or natural light in my bathroom, but there are two corners where light can occur. So that's the only reason why she's still barely kicking. But for the lack of light that she gets, I think I overwater her a little bit. And so I just pulled out a whole stem that died terribly. So I've got to keep my eye on her. I might bring her out of the bathroom and keep her up here with the rest of the mates, just so that she can get some attention and some light, and I don't know. But this is Zara. She's a little skinny. She needs nutrients and love and a leaf cleaning. Okay, name pile. Let's talk to Howard. Howard is my kitchen buddy. I keep him right next to my stove area. There's some pretty decent light that comes in from the kitchen window. This is Howard. I don't know what he is, to be honest. I don't know what he is. I've had him for several years. He has not moved an inch. He has not grown. He has not killed off anything. He has done nothing for the past several years. I don't even remember how long I've had him. I know it's been at least 3 years and he has not moved. So I'm not mad about it because I don't want him to move in the wrong direction. But he's just chilling. He's not interested in progressing. And that's fine. Like whatever you want, boo. Howard, let me see if I identified him. Let me see if I identified him. Oh, maybe I did because of my app. My app says it's a Lavranos Warschick. Lavranos Warschick. Let me Google that also. Lavranos. Maybe there's a more approachable name for this plant. Lavranos Warschick. Yeah, that's what it is. Oh, it's a type of Sansevieria. Oh, hold on. Samurai Dwarf Lavranos 23154 Warschick. Oh, that also comes from the app. But it's a Sansevieria. All right, Howard. Look at you. Love ya. Little lazy old man. Don't ask me why I named him Howard. He just reminds me of a Howard. Okay, that's that. And we talked about Birdie. Let's go over here to my right, and we're gonna talk about Iverson. This is Iverson, one of my favorites. I'm really proud of him. He's hanging in there. Out of the original leaves, this is like, I believe, one of the last remaining original leaves, this biggest one here. And I'm just praying that it holds on as long as possible, because it is providing the nutrients and life and guidance for all of these smaller leaves. And I want to have one stable big leaf until these become mature adult leaves and get bigger, so that they can bring up some more baby leaves like here. I don't know what it is, but it does have some sort of vitamin issue. I think it's either like deficient in a vitamin, or it could be the water that I'm using, which is my sink water, which has so much calcium in it, and probably some other stuff, I don't know, but it doesn't like it, and it hasn't been getting its normal humidity lately, so I need to like start using my humidifier here again really soon. It also has really, really dusty, dirty leaves, so it needs a good leaf cleaning so that spider mites don't try to move in and like eat them alive. So yeah, I've got a couple babies down here. Really happy. I have it in a orchid pot. I gave my orchid to my mom so that she could bring it back to life and raise it and all that stuff. It wasn't dead, it just was not thriving the way that I wanted it to here, so I gave her the orchid for her to bring back to life. But this is how small, this is like a little, what is this, 4-inch? This is a little 4-inch situation that it's in, and it's just doing so well. I'm gonna leave it there. This is Iverson. Okay. Oh, I didn't say what Iverson was. It's an anthurium. Let me double check that. Yeah. Iverson is an anthurium Ivory Coast. And sorry, I said anthurium. Anthuriums I like, but it's an alocasia, my other favorite. It's an alocasia Ivory Coast. Yeah. And this is the first alocasia that's kind of been thriving and surviving in my care. And really, I think it's just because of the amount of light that I have in this place. It's really forgiving. So if I do a little too much or do a little too little, at least it has the light that it needs to kind of keep going until I can correct my behavior with it. Next we have, let's just get Marty out of the way because I need to put him back before he like croaks over. This is Marty. This is a Monstera deliciosa, and he is growing like a wild child, out of control, over to the side. He cannot sit outside of a pot alone because he will tip over. I know that it needs a moss pole, that way I can train it to grow up and healthy, but again, like I've said in the past several videos, I have not done that because I need several moss poles, as you can see. I need one for Hope, I need one for Marty, I need one for Monty, I need one for probably my other giant philodendron. I need several of them, so I'd have to sit down and make a bunch of them, and I have to get all the materials for it, and I don't have the materials for it, so, and that probably won't happen for a little while. So until then, all I can do is just brace it in its spot to make sure that it has the support it needs. Again, Marty is a Monstera deliciosa. He was a gift from my mom from the grocery store, and he started off as a little baby, and now he's like this wild teenager who doesn't know what it wants to do with its life. And it has several aerial roots. Again, aerial roots aren't a bad thing. It's just a sign that it's trying to like brace itself, because in the wild, if this plant was doing this, these aerial roots would wrap around the big tree in the rainforest and like help to brace itself and pull it back up the tree. So the more aerial roots, the more it's screaming, ah, I'm falling over, I'm falling over. And Marty has 1, 2, 3 big aerial roots, 1, 2, 3 little aerial roots coming out. They're all over. So he's really trying to like fight for his life here. And so that's him. And I'm gonna put him back in the corner right now. About that one, let's talk about, let's now talk about, okay, let's talk about Florence. Yay! Florence, I love her. She's so bougie. This goes in my kitchen on my island. And Florence is a burgundy rubber tree. She is also a ficus. And the ficus type is, I said falcon is a ficus lyrata. This is a ficus, sorry. Ficus elastica, okay? AKA rubber tree, AKA this is a burgundy rubber tree. Actually, no it's not. Yes it is. No it's not. Hold on. Is it? That's definitely a burgundy rubber tree. So is this one. Yeah, this is just a baby. So I have her, she's a baby, and like her stems are getting, or her stems, trunk, whatever you want to call it, they're getting thicker, taller, stronger, and eventually she'll be like a real tree, like her big sis over here that has no name. This is my big Ficus elastica, burgundy rubber tree. This is big sis, right? She has no name. I've got to find a name for her, but she's doing very, very well. She sits here in my living room. Little sis sits in the kitchen, like I mentioned, and she's kind of slowed down on growing a bit, but once I gave her a trim during spring, started watering her, she just went nuts. Yeah, so like where I made my cuts, I don't know if you can see, probably not. I made my cut here, and all of this is new. And then I made a cut here, and all of this is new. But after that, nothing else has been happening. I don't know why. She also needs to be dusted. Because that's just what happens in Arizona. We have a lot of dust in this place. That is one of the biggest chores, is dusting, making sure windows and things are clean. I have 2 air purifiers, and I try to change my like air filters often. I mean, it's just dust and dirt. I mean, and it's gonna get worse because we're officially in monsoon season. So that means we'll get a teeny bit of rain, but a lot of wind. And a lot of wind pulls up that dirt and rocks and everything, sand from the desert and the mountains, and it just wrecks us here in the city. So we're officially in that season. We probably won't start getting storms until like July, or like after July. But who knows, because this year has been kind of crazy and wonky. But yeah, I mean, it's just dusty. You always have to dust. You always have to clean everything because it's in our air. So yeah, this is my no name, which I will name her later. I'm just gonna put her back where she belongs, which is right behind you. Excuse me. about you, girlfriend. I will talk about my small little situation that I have going on here. This bunch has no name, but I've got two different Sansevieria in here, which I think they renamed Sansevieria or reclassified Sansevieria to Dracaena, but I don't know if I can ever get with that. So for the old heads, these are my two different snake plants, aka Sansevieria, aka Dracaenas. I don't feel like it, but there's two different names. You've got your stripedy tiger dark one, and then this lighter lime yellow and the darker green. It was, I think, nicknamed a bird's nest Sansevieria. It was very curly and like flowery like, but it died, and right before it died I took some of the leaves and like propagated and stuck it in here with another propagation of the stripedy one, and they just grew in harmony together, grew roots, and now these are all of the offspring and results of these two different Sansevieria, and I love it. I'm so glad that it survived. I think it's just so cute. Love it. No name. Okay, and then guy is right here. I've got two different corn plants, and one dominates the other. This goes in my bedroom on a stand. This needs to be dusted so bad, like so incredibly bad. I might do that before I even put him back, actually. But I've got two different corn plants in here. As you can see, this one is all like this really pretty dark green color. Look at these gorgeous long leaves. This guy has always been really strong, whether I have light in my apartment or not. I also had this one back in my basement apartment in downtown Phoenix, and I thought for sure it was going to die, and it did not. It was just like, okay, this is what we're doing for now. This is what we're doing, and it just held on strong. I may have taken off like a couple leaves, but it really has held on strong. And now that we're here, we've been here in this apartment for a year now, it has taken off. As you can see, like these shiny new leaves at the top, obviously that's new growth, and he just keeps putting out, like there are like 3 or 4 new leaves down in here that are about to come out, and he's just thriving, and I'm all here for it. The roommate here, this other type of corn plant, I don't know if this guy is taking over the space or what's going on down here, but this guy doesn't really grow very quickly. It's taking its sweet time. There is movement, but very, 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 very slow to grow leaves. I do see like 1 or 2 leaves coming up, but very slow. Like I've had this one almost the same amount of time, and I just decided that I wanted to put them together because why not? And this one just grows so incredibly slow, but is thriving. So yeah, these guys don't have a name. They definitely need and deserve names. So I will figure that out later, but this goes in the bedroom because it's so big. I'm gonna put them back now. Thank you guys for your time. Appreciate you fellas. 5 seconds ago that I was gonna wipe the leaves before I put it back, but it'll get done. All right, what's next? Next, let's talk about Gaia. Let me look, shall we? Because she is just showing her ass. This is Gaia. This is my giant golden pothos. And when I first got her, she was so long and meaty and thick. Her leaves were like this big. I'm not sure if she came from Hawaii or not, but I'm gonna go with that because there was a time where the nursery that I got it from had all these giant pothos from Hawaii. And around that time, this is when I got this one for like a deal. I want to say that she is from Hawaii. Her leaves should be a lot larger, but because I got her when I lived in downtown Phoenix where I had no light, she really took a beating, and I've moved several times since then. And so she's just trying to like keep her life together. But now that we're here and stable and I consistently water her, all of this is new. So basically from here to here is all new growth since we've been here. Definitely, like, all of these pieces on the lamp were not here. I mean, the entire lamp post was covered. I don't know if you can tell, but like her vines are so thick and like old that they're like bark. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say like bark, like a tree. It's not like this green thickness. It's like wood almost. Hey, stop moving. Hang in there. Every once in a while when like different parts of the vine get too long or too heavy, I like have to reconfigure and like pin her up, and like I just did that this morning. I pinned her up. Yeah, because this is exactly what I wanted. I want her to like grow and cascade around my corner chair, my reading chair, my chill chair, and she's doing that exactly. So now I'm just waiting for the other two to come down and do that, and I think that's really fun. Like, I really didn't notice how much she was growing until like I was sitting here, and then she just kept hitting me in my face, and I'm like, whoa, excuse you. But she's really cozy with my Hoya brother and sister team. This Hoya has two different Hoyas in it, and this is Helix and Hera. So let me move you over and introduce you to, and like I'll have to show you another time, but Helix and Hera are two different Hoyas planted together in one for survival, and they really have like had each other's backs. All these like spidery things that you're seeing are the vines. They're not bad. Don't cut them off. They grow flowers. These little nubbins that you might be able to tell, those are flowers that will eventually come up or not. I don't know. I had one bloom and it was gorgeous. The others have not. But yeah, Helix and Hera, they go all the way down and they bother all the other plants. So Helix and Hera, they get really cozy with Gaia. I have to untangle them all together because they're always holding hands, holding each other's leaves. So yeah, that's my Hoya. Hoying. Because the sun is moving. It's supposed to be 107 degrees today. Oh, I'm so thankful I don't have to go outside today. You don't even know. Let's move on to my big babies. Let's talk to Monty. Okay. This is Monty. This is my big baby Monstera deliciosa. And Monty stays in this corner. He has moved from the other side of the room. I just thought that he needed more light and more humidity once I do have my humidifier on. And Monty is so big, his stems are so big and heavy that he is being bound currently in several different places, probably uncomfortable, but you know, it's like a training bra. We are training to greatness so that he can learn how to grow upwards and not like Frankenstein. So Monty is bound. He is somewhat happy. He's currently putting off a bunch of like small baby new growth down closer to the base of the pot. I don't understand it, but I'm gonna let him do him. Monty is also growing huge aerial roots. This is his first aerial root, and it's got lots of fingers on it, and it's creepy sometimes to look at. All of the aerial roots are creepy to me, but again, it just means that they're trying to hold on for dear life. So that's his first aerial root. We have another aerial root here, a small one that kind of got chewed off. I don't know what happen there. We have a couple aerial roots on this side. We've got one here, a little baby one there. There's one in the back. There was one aerial root that I just buried, stuck back down in the dirt. They will grow back down into the dirt if you want. So that one is going back in, which is cool because it kind of helps to brace the plant back into the pot. So this is Monty, my big baby Monstera. This is my first, see, this is why I always have dirt everywhere, because I touch my plants. I just swept and vacuumed, and here, there's more dirt on the floor already. Yay me. Thanks, Monty. Okay. Okay. I guess we can talk about these little plants. These little plants I just got, they are new to the family. I'm a little bit nervous about how little they are because I'm learning that the smaller the plant, the harder it is to keep it alive. But I couldn't pass on this. It was on sale, so I just wanted to try it. I've never had one of these before. This is also an alocasia. This is a silver dragon, I think. Alocasia silver dragon, and it's really little. I've already cut like 3 leaves off of it. It's got 4 leaves left, and I think 1 leaf was trying to come up. There's a brown tip on it, so I don't know if it's actually going to make it or not. But this needs to like stay moist. It does not like to be wet, and it needs a lot of humidity. And again, I have not been running my humidifier or anything, so I don't know how long this is going to last. It has no name. It's new. But this is a silver dragon. And then this is my baby bird's nest fern. I really, really love ferns. I think they're awesome, but I also feel really irresponsible for having a fern in the desert. It's almost like how I feel about people that have huskies in the desert. Like, why? Why? That's so rude and inhumane. A fern is like so rainforesty. It just needs constant high humidity and like moisture. And again, I keep buying them. I'm here in the desert and they just die. So far so good. As you can see, I've got some casualties in the making that I'm gonna have to cut off eventually, but so far so good. I'm trying to keep it watered every couple days because it definitely needs it every couple days. All right. Let's talk about my bird of paradise baby. Okay, this is 7. 7 is my bird of paradise, my first successful bird of paradise. He's got an issue. So, oh hell no. Absolutely not. He has an issue. He needs a bath and a leaf wipe. He needs insecticidal soap immediately because he's got these like creepy little white clusters on him, and those are, what the hell are those things? Mealybugs? I think it's mealybugs that are like the creepy looking white clumps. Yeah, I don't know. And I'm not gonna blow it because that's exactly how you get an infestation. But yeah, this is 7. My first successful bird of paradise. When I got it, it had only 2 leaves. It was a little baby like cutting of 2 leaves. And this one, which one? This one is the newest leaf that just came out. He kind of struggled putting this leaf out, but this is the newest leaf. And even though he has 6 leaves, his name is 7. Don't ask me why. But I just like it. They're so pretty. I have another bird of paradise that has been dying for a very, very, very long time, but every time I get to the point where I'm like, okay, it's done, I'm going to throw it out, it starts putting out a new leaf. So it just won't die. So I can't toss it out to the streets. That's 7. He belongs back here. But I need to like clean him up. Ugh. Pests, right? All right, now, oh my gosh. Love him so much. Oh, right? Like, you are just gorgeous. Hold on. What is that? Hold on. Not you too. I'm seeing those little black spots. Thrips. He has thrips. But it's not that bad yet. But you definitely have thrips, dude. Shit. It's not that bad. I just caught it. He also has another type of pest that's known specifically for this type of plant. And I'm seeing them kind of act an ass also. Wow. Well, anyways, this baby does not have a name. I don't know why, because he's just doing so well and thriving and is just gorgeous. It is a philodendron, and there's so many lemon lime nickname plants for things, but this is a philodendron. I'm so upset that it has like thrips. I'm gonna have to like spray him down right away. And I'm so proud because this plant also survived several storms with me as far as apartments. This was also in my basement apartment. It had like 2 leaves left on it. It was about to die. And then my next apartment, it just was like, okay, on its last leg. I had it out on the balcony in the heat, and I just did not think that it was gonna make it. So it went from those 2 leaves to it just started putting out a leaf every few weeks or so, to then now getting here. Not only is it putting out new leaves and flowers, look at that, it's got 2 flowers, but these stalks are huge, the leaves are huge. Philodendron moonlight, that's what this is called. Philodendron moonlight, what is the scientific term? And it's just gorgeous. It's outgrowing its corner, so I have to figure out something else for it, because it can't stay here. Even though it wants to, it loves it there. Philodendron moonlight, aka moonlight. Okay. It's not giving me a scientific name. If you type that in, you'll see this plant, and I'm just like really, really happy with it. It's one of my favorites. I love big leaves. I love super green foliage. I think it's just amazing. This one also has aerial roots. It's kind of creepy. They're darker, curlier, and like shorter, but because it's not growing out of control to one side or the other, the aerial roots aren't that long and intense, but they're definitely there. But yeah, I've got 2 flowers and a new leaf coming up, and I just think it's just so amazing. Love plants. They're gorgeous, and all you have to do is just like create environments for them to like thrive. Beautiful. If I'm gonna be able to get to everybody, like I'm winded as fuck. All right, let's talk about my other Dracaena, my lemon lime Dracaena. Has no name, but this is like my ride or die. Has been with me for a long time. And there's actually 3 different plants in here. They started off really small, probably in like little 4-inch pots. I potted them all together in this one. There are 3 plants in here, like I said, and it just grows out of control. The lighter the color of the leaf, that's how you know it's new growth. The darker is the older growth. Oh, I didn't see it had a dead leaf here. Let's get rid of you immediately. But yeah, this has no name. It needs a name because it's been with me. The leaves are dusty. So yeah, it's about that time again, guys. Basically, I need to rinse everybody, clean the leaves, and try to avoid pests as much as possible because they are trying to come with a vengeance. But yeah, love this guy. It's so pretty. I want him to get big, 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 big. Okay. So my camera died. Sorry about that. What I was saying is that this is the newest addition to the family. This is also a Monstera adansonii, the healthy version. This is what it's supposed to look like. However, it is a vine. The Monstera adansonii is a vine. So it's bunched up like this because it's new. It's a baby plant, but once it gets going, it is going to sprawl out and lengthen and grow from side to side. This has no name. It's new to family. I will give it a name. Let's go ahead and put him back, like right now. Oh, come on. There we go. So that's the new addition. And then here we have Rhodes. Oh gosh. So this is a Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. This is Rhodes. Rhodes needs a lot of help because he suffered a major loss this year. I don't know what happened, but he's not healthy and I have to save him. But when I got here, when I moved to this apartment, Rhodes was only this tall because I remember putting the stick in there to help brace it. Rhodes was only this tall. And since we've been here, again, for a year, he has grown like 10 feet tall. And growing. But he's not healthy. And I think I made a really, really terrible mistake by thinking that he needed to be repotted because he dropped half of his leaves. All of these leaves dropped immediately. And it's still not like I'm even ashamed to show that, but he needs help. That's Rhodes, Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. This is called this is nicknamed not the Swiss cheese vine. Maybe it is the Swiss cheese vine, but it's not a Monstera. So there's that. I've had this since my last apartment and it was like outside on my front stoop hanging, and it flowers every year. I just pulled off some old dead flowers, but this one flowered in like 4 different places this year. It's also very leggy because there's just a lot of sun, but I kind of leave it alone and let it do its own thing. I want to like learn how to do succulents so that I can get some more. I love them. I think they're pretty. It's just hard for me to do. And then, so I have my plants that I did not mention because, again, I don't know how long they're going to be a part of the family. I have a palm here that is really struggling. It has been struggling with spider mites. Palms just get eaten alive by spider mites and mealybugs, I guess. I don't know, all kinds of stuff. And they're just really hard to keep alive. This is the best that I've done, even though it has new fronds. Is that what they're called? Fronds? This has been here for a long time and it just refuses to open up. This frond here, as you can see, just opened up, but there's like new fronds everywhere and it's just struggling to open. So I've got one there, I've got one there, I've got one there. It would be great if they did, but I don't know. It's struggling. I just watered it, so we'll see if that's what it needed. Has no name, and then that's my other bird of paradise that just refuses to kick the bucket. Every time I'm like, okay, buddy, you're done. Thank you for your service. He does something like it starts putting out a new leaf. But this has been there for a while. I don't know what the deal is. It's like it just stopped and fell asleep. But yeah, there's that. And then my cactus and my succulent. That is a lady slipper that's doing really well. And some like desert succulents that I like partnered with it. And then I have my Opuntia cactus, I think that is, with some desert succulent. And then I have my Synodenium grantii partnered with some desert cactus. And then, or desert succulent. And then my other Opuntia, same thing, partnered with desert cactus. Opuntia pieces that broke off and grew. And then, just, But yeah, that's everybody. Now I need to put everybody back after I wipe down everybody's leaves because I had no idea that they were having a problem. So yeah, that's it for now, guys. I am out of breath. I'm thirsty, and that's a lot of freaking talking. I had no idea that it was going to take this long. But yeah, that's it. Now I got to put everybody back.